What I'm about to show you is stupidly broken. Normally people will say use it wisely. No. Go to town. Because with these loadouts, melee and ability synergy destroy the game. What's good, folks? It's NightmareFrame here with a new Warframe video coming at you with a look at one of the new Melee Arcanes paired with some insanely powerful Warframes to destroy the game. Of course, one of the Warframes is Saryn, but I couldn't help it. It was just way too easy and way too powerful. But first, tell me, does this look normal? Yeah, you're seeing exactly what you're seeing right there. Do you see what's happening? How is this all done? Is a synergy between Melee Influence, one of the latest arcanes, Saryn's Toxic Lash, and Incarnate activations. But first, let's take a look at what Melee Influence actually does. Let's read what this arcane does. On melee electricity status, so when you proc electricity, 20% chance for that elemental melee status effect to apply to enemies within 20 meters. What if I tell you we could make this spread even further? We can have this re-trigger on itself while triggering other status effects at the same time. Of course, some of you will be like, I know exactly where this is going. First, we're looking at Toxic Lash. This ability infuses your weapons with the toxin elemental damage. It does not combine with the elements on your weapon, but it scales with the elements on your weapon. And it is a guaranteed toxin proc. It is able to double and triple dip with faction damage, which is even better. And it deals even more damage when you use it with a melee, since it's a separate instance of damage and counts as weapon damage, not ability. It is able to trigger weapon effects, meaning it is able to trigger alongside melee influence, and I'm synergizing it with two melees, but mainly the first one is the dual E-Course. For the first evolution, read 6 times combo, heavy attack, and you get the ability to create toxin damage fields when you kill an enemy. This toxin damage field can trigger alongside melee influence, can be triggered by Toxic Lash, which triggers with melee influence to spawn more toxin damage fields. So picture this. This is your melee weapon. You douse it with some Toxic Lash, sprinkle a little bit of melee influence, and you hit someone really hard. That person triggers melee influence, so then the other enemy, who's a bit further away, dies thanks to melee influence, drops a toxin field. And if that person triggers melee influence, kills the other guy, he drops the toxin field. So you can have a cascading effect of these toxin clouds everywhere. Evolution 2, third one is bonus range, and the final one is bonus status chance. Oh yeah, this is disgusting, by the way, because we're going to be multi-pronking all of our status effects. Let's take a look at the build real quick. Swirling Tiger is our stance for multi-pronking. Base damage with condition overload because we're going to have a bunch of status effects. Faction damage mod for the double and triple dipping. Prime reach for additional range. Spring-loaded blade to add on to that range, so our swings hit further. And let's have a look at our elemental combination. Notice there's no crit mods because we don't need to crit on this build. We have Virulent Scourge and Volcanic Edge to form gas, and Shocking Touch for the electricity. And finally, Weeping Wounds. Weeping Wounds is our status chance multiplier, which is a 5.4 status chance multiplier. Multiply that with a 63.7%. Let's show you. 5.4. This is what happens when you build up Weeping Wounds at max combo times 63.7. Yes, we have 340% status chance, which is insane. The only reason I don't have these max is because of the weighting. I want my electric to be the main damage type. So let's go to Steel Path and show you how stupidly broken this is. Here we are in Steel Path to showcase the first build. Notice we got our tentacle guy, Dorigo. He's going to be our main energy income, and I'm going to be in my melee stance most of the time just to show you how far this spreads. The Helminth ability I'm using is Firewalker. This allows me to spread heat status effect, gives me a little bit of movement, but the main thing is that it cleanses me of status effects. My focus school is Matarai, so I'm going to start with 2 Void Slings and gives me that juicy sling strength. Activated Firewalker. Just look at the cascading effect when we build up our Incarnate evolution. Here we go. Yeah. See? You see that? I killed this guy, but it triggered over there. I'm not even in max combo, by the way. I just want you to realize. See how it's triggering all the way down there? And these guys are getting affected, but they're also getting procced with Toxin and Electric, even though that's a Toxin cloud. Look how far it's reached. Look how far it's reached. Yeah, talk about busted. This is Saryn's best melee weapon right now. Holy crap. See those white numbers? That's Toxin and Electric damage right there. Oh my god. So always make sure to have your Toxic Lash active. And the other great thing about having Toxic Lash active is that it's able to spread spores without physically touching the spores. Xmas? That was just a one hit, and he just died from the status effects. Yeah. You don't need to red crit or anything. I know the red crits are a neuron activation type of thing, but you don't need it with this loadout. And the best part about this is when an Acolyte spawns, you don't have to focus on the Acolyte. Speaking of the friggin' devil. It's violence. Cool story, bro. I'm not even looking at violence. You can do your thing, buddy. Do your thing. I'm not even looking. Ignore him. Just do your thing. Go kill other enemies. Go somewhere else. And he's dead. This is a cool story, bro, loadout. Now, for those who want a different electric weapon and want some variety in modding, I'm presenting you with Prisma Oma. You can go with a crit or a status loadout, either one you want. Here's the crit loadout, which is just pure electric. Since the weapon is innate electric, you have Weeping Wounds for the additional status chance so it can proc electric more consistently, and you got your basic build, which you can see in the background footage how it's killing and wiping things. But if you want something that is not crit and adds a bit more status application and a bit more spread, well, this is the status build. It's similar to the dual equals build, and I don't have to mod for electricity since it has innate electricity. Let me go show you this real quick. Where are the enemies? Hello? DE?
All manner of Oricon technology
DE?
due to the Circulus's proximity.
DE? Oh, I see a damage number. Oh, finally we got enemies. Okay, one spore. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh yeah. And Oma has that juicy chain lightning effect. This is really good for the enemies right in front of you. But before I show you the other frame, let's take a look at the Saryn build. 2 casting speed shards for the fluidity with all her abilities, and these 2 emerald shards. So then I can reach 14 stacks, which guarantees a full strip. And that's easily done with spores. Spores isn't our main damage, but spores is our lingering damage, paired up with my other lingering damage, which is electric, toxin, and gas. So the build is pretty straightforward. It's as much range as possible. In the aura, swift momentum for the 6 seconds of combo duration and heavy attack windup speed. Archon stretch is because of our companion, and I'll show you. So we have stretch, augur reach, and overextended. This gives us 265% range. This is a 42-meter spread on spores and gives us 13 meters on the toxic lash augment. Contagion cloud. Enemies killed leave behind a cloud, which pairs well with our gas DOTs. And of course, since we're using melee, all of this is twice as strong. Strength with Umbral Intensify and Augur Secrets, and additionally Molt Augmented. So we'll get a total of 168, unfortunately. But I also have Maturai for additional strength for the initial cast. Adaptation and primary direction is for survivability. Prime sure-footed because spending less time on your butt is a huge DPS increase. If you do not have this, use Handspring. Simple as that. Again, the Helminth ability is Firewalker. This gives me a speed increase, procs fire, and cleanses me of status effects. And the companion in question is the Duriga, this hentai looking thing. The main thing you want is Arc Coil and Manifold Bond. Arc Coil procs this little thing, electric, counts as an ability, which then triggers Archon Stretch for some energy regen. That's about it. There's a hierarchy system in Sentinel modding, so that's why Arc Coil is the first thing we want, because we want this to be the first to trigger. Do you remember that Voruna build I released a while ago that I said would be even better when the Melee Arcanes and Tennokai comes out? Boy, I love being right. But then now we don't need to have a Kubro for the Mecha set bonus. And I did change the build slightly. For the Archon Shards, I do have 3 blues, if you want 3 Tau Force, even better, just for the energy maximum. 300 energy is pretty much the same as Saryn Prime. Casting speed, because she needs it with all of the abilities that she does, she needs the casting speed. Focus School can be whatever. The synergy here is between Argonac and a dagger, at the same time spreading status effects. Why the Argonac? Simple. For the Amalgam Argonac Metal Auger, strip enemy armor. This is easily done with DOTs as well, and our main DOT that we're dealing is electric. You don't need to use your guns, you just need to have the Dexterity Arcanes for the combo maintenance. Taking a look at the weapon, this is my Shayura's Wrath. It is built from the Bala Peye Varji Tujai. Taking a look at the build. Why do we not have any crit chance mods? If you had a keen eye, you would have seen, but for those who didn't see, I'll explain in a bit. A similar loadout to what we're using for our other melees, but if you want, I would say go with Berserker Fury. This is going to be a bit better for you. It's even more attack speed. Now, we got our range, damage, electricity for our elemental damage, attack speed of course, faction damage, and critical damage, with Exodia Triumph for additional combo count chance and melee influence, because we got electric. Why don't we have Weeping Wounds? Well, simple. Because Voruna's first ability gives you crit damage and 100% status chance, and it has guaranteed slash proc, so we don't really need that. And our second ability primes enemies for us, and when you kill them, it's able to spread. And with all that range, we get a 19.6 meter spread. For our Helminth ability, we got Wrathful Advance. This gives us 100% crit chance at base. It gets stronger thanks to Molt Augmented, and if you want even more, you can go with Maturai. Since we're critting 100% of the time, that's why we're multiplying our damage when we crit with the Shroud of Dinar, the crit damage mods on our weapon. And we also have our companion with Tenacious Bond. This is a final critical damage multiplier. Easily done. Easily done with Bite, because you need to have over 50% crit chance. And the best part about this build is that we're using the second ability passive. We don't have to worry about the third ability passive anymore because of Tennokai. Taking a look at the Voruna build. Growing power in the aura for some additional strength. Molt Augmented for even more strength. Range at 280% with Archon Stretch because of our second ability. Reach, Overextended, and Cunning Drift. We don't need PSF because we're using the second ability passive, which gives us complete status immunity. Equilibrium for our energy gains, because with Lycath's Hunt, it's able to drop health orbs, converting health orbs into energy. So we're able to sustain ourselves with both Archon Stretch and Equilibrium. Okay, here we are in Steel Path. WARFRAME is having some server issues because of cross-save. Let's show you how this build works. We have our second ability passive active. We activate Lycath's Hunt, hold, aim at the wall, go invisible. Now we have guaranteed crit chance. Pounce on enemies. Death. Death. Need I say more? Just death. And I got logged out. I got logged out. Anyway, everybody got disconnected, and the WARFRAME servers are currently down because of cross-save shenanigans. So you've seen the Saryn melee influence loadout using the dual Icors and the Prisma Oma, because oh my god, I'm sorry, that was a really bad joke. And here you can see the Voruna with the dagger. Her first ability allows you to get more status chance and crit damage, force proc bleeds, and even when you proc Tennokai, you get guaranteed bleeds with the daggers. We're spreading so much status effects right now, the enemies are just too weak to even survive anything. So you don't even notice the armor strip that is coming from the Argonac combo. So yeah guys, if you enjoy these types of loadouts, please do give them a try. It's insanely fun, crazy amounts of kills, and if you learned something while enjoying the video, please do feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more WARFRAME content, streams, and so much more. do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, a peace. Bye-bye now. Happy holidays.